Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. So because there are more of y'all, in this one I thought we could do a little get to know me, and I could tell you fun facts about me. And the coolest thing that there is to know about me is probably the fact that I didn't speak a single word of English until I was 12 years old. So I was born in the Senegal, West Africa, which is an ancient French colony. So I've been to school in French, and I used to be only able to say like my name is, how are you, like very basic stuff like that, perhaps my age as well, but that was it. But then when I turned 12, something amazing happened. I met my best friend. So my childhood best friend used to live in the Gambia, and if you don't know, the Gambia is literally within Senegal. So if this was to be Senegal, the Gambia is somewhere here, and it's a very tiny country. And in the Gambia they speak English, even though in Senegal we speak French. I like to think that what happened is that English colonizers came and told French people, you know, that's a huge piece of cake, give us a small bite, okay, a small piece. And then French colonizers were like, fine, you can have this piece, and that's the Gambia. Okay, so Ada, who is my childhood's best friend, she used to live in the Gambia, and then she moved to Senegal when I was 11, 12, right? Our families were our kind of families as well, if that makes sense. And so we met, and from day one we were like two peas in a pod. Okay, we just adored each other from the very first time that we saw each other, right? And we just stuck to each other. We would be together all the time, you guys. I've been in a lot of codependent situations, but none of them was as bad as the situation I was in with Ida. Like, for example, we used to live 3 kilometers away from each other, right? And she would come to my house and spend all day at my place. We'd be home all day together, and then when it was time for her to go home, I'd be like, let me walk with you a bit, right? And we would walk all the way to her house, you guys, right? And then she'd be like, oh my god, you're all the way to my place, let me walk with you a little. And then we would walk back sometimes all the way to my house, and we could do this dance for 6 times sometimes on very bad days, right? So it was crazy. We were really attached to the hip of each other, only get separated probably when we sleep or go to school or stuff like that, right? And that is how I started learning English, right? Because we'd be talking and someone would come in, and then she'd be like, oh, dang, I wish you understood English so that we could keep gossiping, right? And that is how I started to learn. Mind you, my mom was paying a hefty check for me to go to school and learn how to speak English, but gossip is what did it. Don't judge me, you guys. I am no longer a gossip. I mean, nowadays I'm interested in water cooler gossip, okay? Gossip about shows. Did you guys see The Devil Wear Prada? What did you think about it? You know, that's the type of gossip, I mean, these days. But those days it was about people. I'm not even gonna lie, you know. We live and we grow, you guys. Don't judge, okay? But anyways, that is how I started learning English and becoming better at it, more fluent. And then the next year I convinced my mom to enroll me in the Senegalese American bilingual school. Anyway, so my English got better and better, and I am fluent, you guys. I know that sometimes in the videos it may not come across that way. Like, I would rewatch my own videos and hear the mistakes, and I'm like, this is crazy, because I know that one doesn't say this, one says that, but some way somehow when I'm speaking, when I'm recording, sometimes I'm nervous or whatever, I don't know, but I am fluent, okay? I do understand English, okay? Anyways, I went from not being able to speak a single word, or probably knowing 3 sentences would be closer to the truth, to having a channel with over 300 videos all in English, you guys. If that does not, you know, inspire you to know that you can be and do anything that you want, then I don't know what will, okay? This is proof that you can learn anything you want as long as you set your mind to. You can learn anything you want, right? I have to say, moving to Germany did help a lot as well with my English, because even though I could speak a bit of English back when I still lived in Senegal, when I moved to Germany, my English improved a lot. That is probably when I became fluent, right? Because I didn't speak German, so I had to speak to everybody in English. So now I had to speak English on the daily, right? When back in the days I would only speak with Ida sometimes, but I would speak with everybody on the daily in English. It's also when I started watching YouTube, and back in the days we had Dailymotion. Let me know if you all know Dailymotion, okay? Because I know you old. If you know Dailymotion, you're almost as old as me. Okay, it still exists, by the way, you guys. Like, there's still some things that I watch on Dailymotion, as crazy as it sounds. So again, shout out to you if you know Dailymotion. But yeah, that is really when my English started improving. Another, I don't know if this is a fun fact, but it's a cool, or I don't know if it's cool, it's a funny story, okay? Is that I once laid in my own puke for 4 hours, I'd say, maybe 5. Like, when I was 8 years old, yeah, I must have been 8 and my sister was 10, or maybe I was 7 and my sister was 9, I don't know. My mom took us to Disneyland Paris. Now, bear in mind, we lived in the Costa Rica, West Africa, so we had to fly to France in order to go to Disney, and I was so excited. Obviously, actually, what I was most excited about is trying McDonald's for the first time. I was so excited about that, and you girls, like, I cannot even begin to explain to you how excited I was about that, because I used to see McDonald's on TV all the time. Like, we had cable, so I used to watch a lot of shows that, you know, were from America and from France. So I knew about McDonald's, but I had never actually been to one. We don't have any till this day. It's 2026, you guys, and we still don't have a McDonald's in the Costa Rica, West Africa. I guess it's better for the population. I don't know, it don't matter. Anyways, I was mad excited about going to McDonald's. So we get to Paris, we go to McDonald's. I'm so excited. I will never forget getting the McFlurry, the ice cream. Yeah, it was a really good day for me. And then a couple of days later, we went to Disney, you know, went to the Eiffel Tower and all of that stuff. And we happened to go to Disney like a couple of hours before we had to fly back to the Costa Rica, West Africa. And in Disney, they had these candy stores, like, you know, the type of candy stores where you can weigh your candy. So I took a bag and I put my candy, and I put my candy, and I put my candy. And my mom was like, that's a lot of candy. But my aunt was there with us, Numa, so she was like, leave her alone. Okay, she told my mom, leave her alone. If you have an African auntie, you know, some of them, not all, but some will really spoil you rotten. So my aunt was like, leave her alone, let her get as much candy as she wants. So I'm putting candy in my bag. Okay, I'm putting candy, putting candy. Big bag of candy, heavy bag of candy. My mom or my aunt, I don't know, I don't remember, pays for it, and I'm eating the candy all day in Disneyland. Okay, I'm eating it all day, and my mom is like, stop eating the goddamn candy. But of course, I'm not listening. I'm eating my candy, eating my candy, eating my candy, eating my candy. We had the best day in Disneyland. We have to go back because we have to get to Charles de Gaulle. We have to fly back to the Costa Rica, West Africa. You know, school is opening in a couple of days, whatever. So in the plane, and I'm starting to feel it. Okay, I'm feeling now that maybe I should have listened to my mother. I'm feeling the candy is much. Okay, I'm not feeling very well. I don't know if it's the fact that, you know, the plane is up, it's the apesanteur, I don't know, you guys, but I'm not feeling very well. And of course, lo and behold, I started regurgitating. Okay, it's coming out, it's coming out, it's coming out, and it's not stopping. And of course, my mom is not helping. She's like, I told you so, I told you not to eat this candy, look at you now, da, 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 da. You're embarrassing me in this plane. Now, what African parents and embarrassment, it needs to be studied, the link between the two. Okay. So anyways, she's not really showing any compassion for me, even though I'm pretty sure she felt some empathy inside of her, but you know, she's more busy giving me remonstrance about, I'm not really caring at this point, you guys. I just want it all out of me. You know how sometimes it's like when you drink too much, you know, you have all of it inside of you and you won't feel well until it's all out. So I'm just like, it's all coming out. Obviously the stewardess is, you know, a little upset with me, but what can you do, right? She's trying to help, but what can be done, you know? At this point in the, you know, aisle of the plane, you know, planes have usually 2 aisles where you can go to the bathroom and stuff, right? There is a huge mar of puke, and I'm so exhausting as well from the entire puking situation that at some point I just fall off and I'm literally laying in my own puke for, yeah, what must have been 4 hours, because the plane is like 6 hours and I probably started puking like 2 hours in. So yeah, for 6 hours I'm just laying there in my vomit, and you know, people can't use the aisle to go to the bathroom, and the whole situation is a bit embarrassing. I'm not even gonna lie, my mom not wrong. It was a bit embarrassing. Like now from the outside looking in, it's embarrassing. When it was, as it was happening though, I didn't really care, you know. I was just glad I was able to empty my system, and I was just exhausted. Maybe I was even sleeping in my vomit, you guys. This is not a glamorous story, but it's a real one. It actually happened. So those are the stories I usually tell people about me, which is odd. Maybe I shouldn't be telling the second one, you know. Maybe I should just stick to the English story. Maybe that's a lack of judgment on my end. And I tell these stories on dates, you guys, like maybe this is why I never get to the 4th date. I'm joking, I usually do get there. But anyways, oh, I can speak 4 languages fluently, or almost 5. Okay, so I speak French, I speak English, I speak German, I speak Wolof, and you know, I understand a whole lot of Spanish. Like if you were to have a Spanish conversation in front of me, I will understand most of it, you know, except if you're talking about, you know, astrophysics, maybe they're not. But other than that, you know, my Spanish is coming along. Shout out to Netflix. Watching Casa de Papel and Narcos back to back to back to back really helped with that. So yeah, I'm a polyglot. So that's another thing about me. But yeah, that's really it, you guys. I think something else that I can tell you is that by next year I would have lived the exact same amount of time in Germany as I had in Dakar, Senegal, and West Africa. Like I remember celebrating my 19th birthday in Germany. So I just came here back then, and I'm turning 28 next year, so I would have lived the exact same amount of time in both countries. Let me know if you want me to make videos talking about my experience living in Germany. Sometimes people do ask me about my experience dating here and living here, so if you want me to make dedicated videos about that, I have before, but that's back when the channel was very small, new really. So maybe I should do updated video about that, because one thing did change, you know. There's something that I said in that video back then that is no longer true. I also have a 15 years old girl. Anyways, I still wanted to make this get to know me video for those of y'all that are new to the channel. If you like this video, do not forget to give it a thumbs up. In the comment section down below, let me know what are your most embarrassing childhood stories, okay? Because you know mine now. Do not forget to subscribe to the channel as well as becoming a member, and I will talk to you guys as always tomorrow. Bye guys, thanks for watching. Mwah.